So for this lesson, we actually have to go to circuits over here and then create a new circuit. Now, for some reason, when Tinkercad creates a new file, they give it a funny name. So we need to come over here and change this to UselessBox so it means something to us. Now, this video is just going to be the circuits. We'll do the coding in a little bit in another video. Okay, so to get started, we need an Arduino. So I'm going to scroll down here on the right, grab an Arduino, bring that out. We need a 9-volt battery. I'm going to bring that out over here. We need a breadboard. However, I don't want the small breadboard. I want the mini breadboard. So I'm going to type in bread, and then you're going to see the mini breadboard right here. Let's see. So what else do we need? We need a switch. So again, I'm going to type in switch. And we need 2 of these. One down here. We're going to move these around a little bit, a little while, and one over here. And exactly where we want them. What else do we need? We need a servo. So servo. And I'm going to use this black one. No, blue one. I'm going to use the blue one. They're both micro. It's just the color of the wires. This one is brown, red, orange, which is generally what I have in the classroom. And then this one is black, white, and red. So the red is always the same. The black and the brown are the same, and the white and the orange are the same. They're just lined up a little bit differently in their just lined up a little bit differently. Okay, so we do need a resistor, but before we do that, let's start organizing ourselves a little bit. So I'm going to take the battery, start there because that's where power is coming in, and rotate that around and slide that in right about there. I'm going to take this switch and I'm going to rotate it around so that it is right about there. And we need to power, so we're going to do the bin in from the battery. But first, we're going to run it through the switch. So we're going to change this to red, either by coming up here and clicking on red, or by pushing the number 2. That'll also change it to red. Now, so for me, I just want to straighten these up. I just like these to be pretty straight. So that's how I like it. All right, that gets us our positive, but as we know with circuits, we've got to create a electricity goes in, but electricity has to come back to the battery. So we're going to come in here and put this into ground. Scoot this over and change it to black. Okay. Now, colors don't really matter, guys, when you're actually building these things, but it is nice to have the right color because other people could use your diagram, and it makes sense to them if we all stick with the same color scheme. Okay, now we need to run some wire up to here to power up the breadboard. But before I do that, I'm going to rotate this around. Do something, oops, too far, like that. Okay. And I'm going to rotate this one around. Something like that. And I might move them a little bit. I'm going to rotate this around. I'm going to zoom out to everything as well so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. So there's where I got it laid out. So again, I'm going to take some power, and I'm going to have to power up this servo. So I'm just going to line up my power. My black is my brown, and my red is going to be the red. And again, I like to line these up, so I'm going to bring it to look straight to me. And so I'm going to just bring the power right to these. So, you know, when you clicked into this pin, this hole, then these holes are all connected to it. So let's do 5 volts. Bring it down here. Again, I return. I'm just going to bring it right to here. Just change that a little bit so it doesn't go over the black wire, so people can see that black wire going in there. Or maybe we'll have to change that later. And then we're going to have to do a ground. We've got the black, and do the same thing. Curve it around. And put that there. Okay, I think it's okay. The next thing we're going to do is finish up our input from our Arduino to this orange wire. It's going to our servo. So first I'm just going to put that there and change it to orange. Over here, orange. I don't know, maybe is 3 orange? Yeah, 3 is orange. And there's 3, and then this is going to be connected to our 9 pins. So I'm just going to take a wire from right here. Bring it out here so you can see, down, over, and into the 9. Okay. There we go. All right, so now the servo is kind of all hooked up. It's going to get its signal from the Arduino to know what position to go to. It's going to get power from the Arduino's 5-volt and ground. But getting power from the 9-volt battery from the in. All right, the next thing is this switch and the resistor I was referring to earlier. So the first thing I want to do is take power from, basically this line and take it over to my switch. So I'm going to drag that over to here. And I'm going to change it to red because it matches the power in. And then I'm going to put in a resistor right here on the negative. And I'm going to bring this black wire there as well. So electricity could flow into the switch, around, and back to the battery, basically. But at the same time, we're going to provide a way for it to get into the Arduino, so that the Arduino says, oh, look, somebody turned that switch on. So now it gets, the code gets run. I'm going to come down here to the number 2 pin. And that'll be it. Excuse me. That'll be it. Input. The 9 will be an output when we set up our code. And that's it for wiring up your useless box. You've got a switch down here that's going to turn on electricity so that your battery doesn't go dead, because if this electricity was allowed to go straight through, the Arduino would keep trying to run stuff. It has a few lights that might blink and it would use up the electricity. But by turning the switch, we can turn that off and not have electricity flowing through it, and turn it on, and it would have electricity flowing through it, and we want it to work. And then after we program it, when someone flips this switch, it would tell the servo with the code to move to a certain position, which would basically come over and flip the switch. So this isn't laid out as the useless box would be, but it is wired as the useless box could be wired. But the switch and the servo have to be kind of close to each other so they could turn each other off. In fact, this switch would probably not be a slide switch, it would be more of a toggle switch. But they didn't have that option when I looked up switches, so that's what we use for now.